If you have been praying for a breakthrough in your finances, for provision that has not yet come, for the door to open that has been closed, I want you to know that I own everything. Every resource, every opportunity, every connection that could change your situation is in my hand, and I am already setting things in motion. The provision is coming. It may not look like what you expected. It may come from a direction you did not anticipate, but it is coming. If you have been praying for healing, for your body or for someone you love, I want you to know that I am the God who heals. Medicine can only go so far. Human knowledge has limits, but I have no limits. I am not subject to a prognosis. I am not bound by what the tests show. I created the body I am healing and I know every part of it. Do not stop praying for healing. Do not accept a verdict that contradicts what I have spoken. If you have been praying for your purpose, for the dream I placed in you to come to life, for the door to open into what you were created to do, I want you to know that the dream did not come from you. It came from me, and I do not place dreams in people to leave them unfulfilled. The dream is real, the calling is real, the timing is mine, and it is perfect. Whatever you have been praying for, do not stop. You are one step away. I want to close by talking to you about what comes after the breakthrough, because I want you to have something to look toward. Something to hold on to as you take this next step. On the other side of where you are right now is a season you have not yet experienced. A season of seeing what I do with everything you have been through. A season of watching the things that were meant to destroy you become the very things I use to build something beautiful. A season of being able to look someone else in the eye who is in the middle of what you have been through and say, I know. I have been there, and I can tell you from the other side that it is worth it. Your story does not end in defeat. Your story ends in victory, in testimony. In a life that looks back on this moment and understands that every single step, including this one, was part of something I was building all along. So take the next step, just one. That is all I am asking. One step, then another, then another. I will be with you for every single one. Let me pray over you right now. Father, I lift up every person who is listening to this message today. Every person who came to this video exhausted and depleted and on the edge of giving up. Every person who has been carrying a dream, a prayer, a hope that has not yet materialized and is wondering if it ever will. I ask that you renew their strength right now, not just enough to survive, enough to take the next step. Give them the faith of Joseph in the pit, the perseverance of Hannah in the temple, the resilience of Elijah under the tree. Give them what they need for this moment and for every moment that follows. Let them feel the nearness of the breakthrough they have been believing for. Let them sense that they are closer than they had ever been, and let them leave this moment with a decision fixed in their heart. I will not quit, not today, not when I am this close. Because they are this close, and you are faithful. And what you have promised, you will bring to pass. In your name, Amen. If this message spoke to you today, type "do not quit" in the comments right now. Let someone else who is struggling see that they are not alone in this fight. Share this video with someone who needs to hear that they are one step away. You never know whose life could be changed by one message at exactly the right moment. Subscribe to God's Voice today and turn on notifications. Every single day there is a fresh message here waiting for you. God is speaking. Make sure you are here to receive it. God bless you. I will see you in the next message. My child, before I let you go today, I want to stay with you a little longer because I know that for some of you, this message is the only voice of hope you have heard in a very long time. And I do not want to rush past that. I want to talk to you about the lies that quitting tells. Quitting tells you that the time you have already invested is wasted if you stop now. That all those years of believing, all those prayers, all that sacrifice, added up to nothing. And I want you to hear me when I say, nothing you have done in faith has been wasted. Not one prayer, not one act of obedience. Not one moment of choosing to trust me, and every circumstance told you not to. Everything you have done in faith has been building something. You cannot always see what is being built from where you are standing. When a house is being constructed, there is a long season where all you can see is the foundation and the frame. It does not look like much. It does not look finished. It does not look like what it is going to become. But the work that is being done in that unseeable season is the most important work of all. Because without the foundation, nothing that comes after it can stand. I have been building your foundation, and what I build does not crumble. Quitting also tells you that the people who walked away were right. That the ones who said it would not work, who told you your dream was too big, who shook their heads and moved on, had better judgment than I did when I placed the dream inside of you. And I need you to hear this. They did not know what I know. They were looking at your present circumstances and drawing conclusions. I was looking at your potential and making promises. The people who walked away were not seeing what I see. And their leaving was not confirmation that the dream was wrong. It was often confirmation that they were not meant to be part of the next chapter. Not everyone who starts the journey with you is meant to finish it with you. Some people are in your life for a season and a reason. When they leave, they are not taking your future with them. Sometimes they are actually clearing the space for it. Do not let the people who left convince you that what I said was wrong. I want to talk to you now about rest, because some of you have confused quitting with resting, and I want to separate those two things clearly. Resting is not quitting. Resting is what Elijah did under the tree. It is what I do when I ask you to be still and know that I am God. It is the recognition that you are human and humans have limits, and that honoring those limits is not lack of faith but wisdom. If you need to rest today, rest. If you need to step back from the striving and the pushing and simply be for a moment, do that. I am not asking you to white-knuckle your way through every season without stopping to breathe. I am asking you not to quit. There is a difference. Rest and return. Rest and trust. Rest and allow me to work while you are still. But do not confuse the exhaustion of a season with the signal to stop permanently. To rest is temporary. The promise is eternal. I also want to speak to the loneliness of this season, because many of you are fighting this battle without anyone beside you who truly understands what you are going through. You have people in your life, maybe good people, who love you and want the best for you, but who cannot fully see the depth of what you have been carrying. And that loneliness makes the battle harder. It makes the weight heavier. It makes the temptation to quit stronger because there is no one standing next to you saying, "Keep going, I see what you cannot see." I am saying it. I am standing next to you right now, in this moment, and I am telling you, keep going. I see what you cannot see. I know what is coming. And it is worth it. You are worth it. The dream I placed in you is worth fighting for. You are not alone in this battle. You have never been alone in this battle. The moments when it has felt the most solitary are the moments when I have been the closest, working hardest, doing the things that only I can do in the unseen places. I need you to trust me in the unseen places. Let me tell you about one more person before we close. A man named Paul. Paul knew something about not quitting. He knew something about carrying a purpose through circumstances that made no sense. He wrote some of the most powerful words ever written about faith and hope and perseverance, and he wrote them from prison, from chains, from a place where every natural circumstance said that the mission was over, the story was finished, the dream had died. He wrote, "I have learned, in whatever state I am, to be content. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Not I have always felt content, not contentment has been easy for me. I have learned it, through the hard seasons, through the prison and the shipwreck and the beatings and the betrayals, through every circumstance that should have broken him, but did not because the strength he was drawing on was not his own. The strength you need for this next step is not yours to generate. You do not have to manufacture it from a place of depletion. You can draw it from me. That is what I am here for. That is what I have always been here for. Come to me when you are weary and I will give you rest. Not the rest that means stopping, the rest that means being carried. The rest that means the weight is being shared by hands stronger than yours. Let me carry it with you today. You have made it this far. Through everything you have been through, you are still here. You are still listening. You are still believing enough to be in this moment right now. That is not nothing. That is everything. That is faith. And faith the size of a mustard seed is enough to move mountains. You have more than a mustard seed. You have years of it, built up through every hard season, every act of trust, every moment you chose to keep going when you could have stopped. Use it now. Take the next step. And when you take it, know that I am right beside you, every single step of the way. Until the moment when you are standing on the other side of everything you have been believing for. Looking back at this day, at this message, at this moment when you chose not to quit, and understanding exactly why I asked you to hold on. That moment is coming. Do not quit before it arrives. You are one step away. My beloved child, do not quit. I know you are exhausted. I know you have been fighting for so long that the word tired does not even begin to cover what you are feeling right now. I know you have prayed and waited and believed and tried and fallen and gotten back up more times than you can count. And I know that right now, in this moment, some part of you is wondering if it is finally time to let go, to stop, to accept that maybe this is just not going to happen. I need you to hear me clearly. Do not quit. Because you are one step away, not 10 steps. Not 100 steps, one step. You are standing at the edge of everything you have been believing for, and the enemy knows it, and that is precisely why this moment feels so impossible. That is precisely why the weight feels the heaviest it has ever felt. That is precisely why every voice around you and inside you is telling you to stop. Because he knows what happens if you take one more step. Let me tell you something about the nature of breakthrough. It almost never arrives when things are going smoothly. It almost never comes in a season of comfort and ease and certainty. Breakthrough comes at the end of the hardest stretch. It comes after the longest night. It comes in the moment when everything in you has been emptied out and you have nothing left to offer except the choice to keep going. That is the moment you are in right now. And I am telling you, from the place where I can see everything you cannot yet see, that what is on the other side of this moment is worth every single thing you have been through to get here. Every tear, every sleepless night, every door that closed in your face. Every person who doubted you, every moment you doubted yourself. Every time you got up when you had every reason to stay down. It was all leading here, to this moment, to this one step. I want to talk to you about quitting for a moment, because I understand the temptation. I understand it deeply. Quitting is not weakness. It is what happens when a person has given everything they have and cannot find anything left to give. It is what happens when the gap between where you are and where you hope to be feels so wide that crossing it seems impossible. But here is what quitting cannot see. It cannot see what I see. It cannot see the provision I have already prepared just past this point. It cannot see the door I have already opened that you're about to walk through. It cannot see the person I have already positioned to come into your life at exactly the right moment. It cannot see the answer to the prayer you prayed 3 years ago that is about to arrive. Quitting looks at the distance and sees impossibility. I look at the distance and see one step. Let me tell you about a man named Joseph. You may know his story. But I want you to hear it today, in a way you may not have heard it before. Joseph was a young man with a dream, not a small dream. A dream so large and so specific that when he shared it with the people closest to him, his own brothers, they did not celebrate it. They hated him for it. They threw him in a pit. They sold him into slavery. They took the coat I had given him as a symbol of his calling and dipped it in blood and told his father he was dead. They did not just abandon his dream. They tried to bury him with it, and then it got worse. In Egypt, Joseph served faithfully in the house of a man named Potiphar. He did everything right. He worked with integrity. He honored the position he had been given even though it was nothing like the position he had seen in his dream. And then Potiphar's wife made false accusations against him, and he was thrown into prison for something he did not do. Prison, after the pit. After the slavery, after the betrayal, after years of faithful service. If there was ever a moment to quit, it was there in that prison cell. If there was ever a moment to look at the dream and say it is over, it was when the door closed behind him and the darkness settled in. But Joseph did not quit. He did not quit in the pit. He did not quit in Potiphar's house. He did not quit in the prison. He kept his integrity. He kept his faith. He kept serving faithfully in whatever place he found himself, even when that place looked nothing like the promise. And then one day the door opened, not slowly, not gradually. In a single day, Joseph went from the prison to the palace. From forgotten prisoner to second in command over all of Egypt, from the lowest point of his life to a position of influence that would allow him to save millions of people from famine, including the very brothers who had betrayed him. The pit was not the end. The slavery was not the end. The prison was not the end. They were all part of the path to the purpose. What does that mean for you today? It means that where you are right now is not where your story ends. It means that the betrayal you experienced, the door that closed, the season that felt like a prison, was not the end of your journey. It was preparation for the next chapter. And the next chapter is greater than anything you have yet seen. You are not in the pit forever. You are passing through it on the way to the palace. Do not quit in the pit. Let me tell you about another person. A woman named Hannah. Hannah wanted a child more than she wanted anything in this world. Year after year she prayed, and believed, and hoped, and was disappointed. And not just disappointed in private, she was ridiculed, she was provoked. The people in her life who were supposed to support her used her pain as a weapon against her. They made her feel like her unanswered prayer was proof that something was wrong with her, that she was somehow less than, that she should give up. She went to the temple and she prayed with such desperation, such raw and unfiltered honesty, that the priest watching her thought she was drunk. That is how deeply she was pouring out her heart. That is how completely she had given everything she had to this one prayer. And I heard her. I always hear the prayers that cost everything. The ones that come from a broken and desperate place. The ones that have no performance left in them, no pretense, just pure honest need laid at my feet. Hannah went home from the temple and she conceived. The child she had waited for, the child she had been told would never come, the child whose absence had been used to humiliate her, came. His name was Samuel, and Samuel became one of the most significant voices in the history of my people. The waiting was not punishment, the waiting was preparation. Hannah needed to be the kind of mother who understood what it meant to receive something only I could give. Samuel needed to be the kind of prophet who had come through a mother's tears and faith and perseverance. The timing was not late, the timing was perfect. What have you been waiting for that feels like it has been too long? I want you to know that I have not forgotten it. Not a single detail of the prayer you had been praying, not a single tear you have shed over it. Not a single night you lay awake with it heavy on your heart. I have kept every one of those moments, and the answer is coming. Not because you have been patient enough or faithful enough or good enough. Because I am good, because my promises are real. Because what I have spoken over your life does not return to me empty. Do not quit before your Samuel arrives. Let me talk to you now about the specific kind of exhaustion that comes from spiritual warfare. Because some of you are not just tired from waiting, you are tired from fighting. You have been in a battle that you did not choose, against an enemy you cannot always see, and the battle has been long and the attacks have been relentless and you are running out of the strength to keep standing. I see that. I see the specific battle you are in right now. And I want you to understand something about the enemy's strategy. He does not fight hardest against the things that do not matter. He fights hardest against the things that carry the most potential for my kingdom. He attacks most viciously the people who are closest to breakthrough. He intensifies the pressure when he can feel the ground shifting beneath his feet. The fact that you are under attack right now is not evidence that you are losing. It is evidence that you are a threat. It is evidence that what I have placed inside of you is powerful enough that the enemy is working overtime to stop it. You are not losing this battle. You are in the middle of it. And there is a difference. Think about Elijah, one of the greatest prophets who ever lived. A man who called down fire from heaven, who prayed, and the rain came after 3 years of drought, who stood against 450 false prophets and did not flinch, a man of extraordinary faith and extraordinary courage. And then, immediately after his greatest victory, he sat down under a tree and told me he had had enough. He wanted to die, he was completely and utterly spent. I did not rebuke him, I did not tell him to get it together. I sent an angel to touch him and tell him, "Get up and eat. The journey is too great for you." I fed him, I let him rest, and then I sent him back out. Because the journey was not over. Because what lay ahead required everything he had been through to prepare him for it. Because even in his exhaustion, even in the moment when he wanted to quit, I was not finished with him. I am not finished with you either. Whatever has depleted you, whatever has brought you to this moment of wanting to stop, I see it. And I am not standing over you with disappointment. I am bending down to where you are and I am saying the same thing I said to Elijah. Get up and eat. The journey is too great for you to walk it on empty. Let me feed you. Let me restore you. Let me give you what you need for the next step, because there is a next step. And it is the most important one you have taken yet. I want to speak now to every specific prayer that you have been carrying that feels unanswered. If you have been praying for restoration in your family, for a relationship that seems broken beyond repair, for a prodigal child, or a distant parent, or a marriage that has grown cold, I want you to know that I am the God of restoration. I specialize in what looks irreparable. I work in hearts that seem closed. I move in situations that seem frozen. Do not give up on the people I have placed in your life. Do not stop praying for what seems impossible. I am already at work in ways you cannot see.